What's going on? It's Average THC Guy. Today I'm going to be talking about the first time I ever smoked weed. Now, this is not to be confused with the first time I ever got high, which I've already posted a video on. Go check it out. That was with a pen or a cart. This was the first time I ever smoked that bud, that grass, that Zaza, that green magic devil's lettuce. I wanted to tell this story because as of the time of recording, it's just over a year ago since it happened. And yeah, so here it is. It was a Friday. We were actually off school this day. And so I believe it was a snow day, actually. And so we were all getting ready to go up to Marshall's house for a get together. And it was going to be me, Marshall, Carl, Lizzie. I mean, everyone was pulling up. And we also had someone else from our class named Cherry. Now, Cherry is interesting because he, well, I'll tell you. So I had gone up. Martha lives about 30 minutes away from where I live, so I had gone up, and since I didn't know where he lived, he decided to have me park somewhere and pick me up. So that's what we did. And I had brought the little Fuego pen that I had, but again, as I remind you, it was kind of shit. So, yeah, so Marshall picks me up, and then he is hitting the pen in my car, and this is one of the first times we'd ever really hanged out, and so I was pretty quiet, but eventually he told me to open the glove compartment and take out a bag, and so I did, and it was a double Ziploc bag, and it was one of those ones that had, like, the zipper on it, and it was just full of weed. Like, there had to have been maybe, like, at least maybe, like, a half an ounce, maybe? Like, there was a fucking lot, and he told me to open it up and smell it. Now, this is the first time I had ever smelled weed, and if you remember the first time you ever smelled weed, it it's a pretty interesting experience because there's not a lot that actually compares to that smell. Um, so yeah, I remember just being apprehensive about it. Now I fucking love the smell of good weed. So yeah, once we got there, we had to hang out with Marshall's mom and dad for a little while because they were just finishing up some work, but then they were gonna leave. And so this wasn't at his actual house, it was at his like second um like property, like his farm. And yeah, so we had gone there and we just sort of hung out for a while and we started to build a fire because it was fucking cold out. And yeah, so we built a fire and then after we had waited long enough to and his parents had finally headed out, I fucking ripped my pen. Like I'm talking an 8-second hit. I was coughing like a motherfucker. And after that had gone on for a little while, we were talking and we were in some weird conversations. Like we were talking about, you know, what teachers we wanted to fuck and things like that. And then Marshall brings out uh Marshall leaves and comes back and he has the weed, a pipe, and a lighter. And I decide to get in on this because it was just me, Marshall, and Carl. And so, yeah, we went out behind the shed and we decided to smoke it. And I think a lot of first time smokers don't, or at least new smokers don't get the inhale right. Like, um, they just sort of treat it like a cigar or something like that. So my friends actually had to show me what to do, like to keep the smoke in. Um, so I actually got high off of it and not just in and out. So yeah, then we all went inside and Carl was passing around another Fuego pen, but this one was actually pretty fire. I don't know where he got it, but it got me right. And whenever I got high, I just for some reason I just fucking started dancing. Like this was, I was just in my chair fucking busting a move. And yeah, we just kept talking and I had a fairly happy high off of it. Like I was fucking joyful. And so then Harry was handed the Fuego pen, and Harry had never smoked before. And he was sort of in the crowd in our class. I don't want to call them like they were the fucking goody two shoes. Okay, they never did anything wrong or anything like that. Um, we were the fucking troublemakers. Uh, well, I wasn't at least until I started smoking. But yeah, then so he actually hit it, and like we were all having a pretty fucking good time. And first time he ever smoked, actually decided to just drive home. So that was weird, and probably dangerous. But yeah, he got home fine. It's all right, but probably shouldn't have done that. And then we all head back to Marshall's house, and they had actually made tacos. And but the problem is again, Marshall's parents were still awake, and I was high. First time I'd ever smoked weed, and I got to not only do that, but learn fake sobriety in front of another person's parents, which was it was it was interesting. I was able to pull it off. You know, we just ate, and um then we went to the living room where we were all going to sleep, and I was making some weird noises in my sleep, so much that they actually recorded me doing that and then showed it to me the next day. Like they were all just making fun of me and stuff. I don't know why I was doing it. It was probably just because I was, high. But yeah, so the next morning rolled around and this was probably the bad part of what happened. So I had to meet my dad that day, and we were going to drive to the biggest city in my state because that's where I was planning to go to college, and we were gonna go up there, look around a little bit, make sure I could make the drive, all that. And so I decided to do that, and the night before, get fucking blasted. And also, we had gone out to Marshall's hot tub because he had a hot tub at his house the night before, and we had actually done some drinking in there. We had gotten some Four Locos, and just the night was just a vibe, okay, guys? It was just a fucking vibe. And so, yeah, and then after that, we had to go have dinner with a lot of my extended family because I think it was a retirement party for one of my aunts. And so, yeah, a lot of shit to do the next day that I probably shouldn't have been high for, but I was. I wasn't still high, but I probably shouldn't have been high the night before. But yeah, moral of the story is that if you're gonna make a long drive or go see your family the next day, maybe don't make that make the night before the first night you smoke weed. Just an idea. And yeah, this has been Average THC Guy. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.